time for us to get into some community-focused stories. And this morning, we want to go all the way to Sanerigo. And a very challenging situation over there. One of the things that bugs me a lot, Kokwe, is how that we seem to, it's almost like allow things to just run amok, you know, in almost any sector in Ghana. And then it comes to a point where suddenly when it politically suits us, then we get into the gear to try and, you know, firefight and do those kinds of things, which is also one of the reasons that I really appreciate this particular segment, where we get a chance to focus on some of these areas that political actors and government leaders have abandoned, you know, and just left to go run haywire, as it were. I'm not sure what how you feel.
It's you think that with all of the shows that we do speaking about these things and trying to create more awareness and bring these issues to the attention of people who actually are in a position to do something about it, the situation would change for the better. Yeah. You know, but these stories keep coming up, they keep cropping up. We know that there's a big emphasis on secondary education, but in this case, what we're going to discuss and what we're going to see, it is a senior high school, and it's appalling the kind of conditions they have to deal with in 2023. Yeah. And you ask yourself, I mean, if this is happening in a place like Tamale, which is supposed to be a major city, then you can imagine what could be happening in more rural communities. I mean, this is Tamale Islamic Science Secondary School, and they're eating on the floor.
Yeah, Kokwe, when I saw this report, I was just devastated. It should not happen anywhere within the borders of this country. It should not happen.
To send your kids to school for this.
Yeah. Well, I think let's take a look at this report. We'll come back and we'll delve into some conversations on it.
This is the supposed dining hall for students of Islamic Science Senior High School. From rotten ceilings, broken louver blades to dilapidated concrete floors, students here sometimes contend with animals for the hall owing to the lack of doors at the entrance. Some students have been speaking to Citi News.
We are not feeling comfortable in the dining hall, and we are not feeling comfortable because our food is served on the floor. Our food is served on the floor. Look, the dining hall doesn't have any gates to cover when we finish. So the sheep, the goats, everything, they will come inside. They just defecate around. The droppings will be there. If we come to eat, unless we sweep it before we can eat. If we don't sweep it, we can't. And when it is raining, we can't come to the dining hall because the dining hall will be filtered.
There are no fans, the ceilings, and when it's even time for this thing, time for dining, students, sometimes when it's raining, students find it very difficult here because all their dresses will be wet. And so they sometimes find it very, very difficult. And we don't even have chairs. Chairs are not there, the fans are not there, no lighting. The lighting system is very poor. Sincerely speaking, we will appeal for furnitures and fans and support, a little support, because the food there is not enough. The food is not enough for the students. So sometimes we only come and we get some small quantity, but I just have to take it like that because we don't have any option. Yes. So we appeal to get more food to satisfy the students.
Since the inception of the school some 25 years ago, it has not seen any facelift. The dormitory block, which was originally designed to accommodate 240 students, now houses over 1,000 students, while the population of the school keeps growing. With a current population of 3,000, female students alone make up nearly 2,000 of the population. Some of the girls told Citi News their dormitory lacks ventilation and is infested with bed bugs.
There are many in this room, about 50 plus in this room, and this room is too small for us, and there is no even fan in the room. If the rain is falling, we have to stand till the rain stops before. We are pleading for the government to give us more facilities.
There are no fans there, no beds there, no mattresses, And sometimes it's very pathetic. It's very pathetic. In the night, you come and see us lying down there, and animals too, goats and sheep too, they are always there.
It's our bathroom that they have changed to a room for us because of lack of dormitories, and we are appealing for people to come out and help us build dormitories. And the toilet is full. We can't go inside the toilet and defecate again. We are defecating outside here. And you know that our bathroom is small for us to occupy, so we always suffer when we are to bath. You have to stand for 2 hours till one person bath and come, we also stand. So that is making us to waste our time in the dormitory. So we don't go to school early because our bathroom is too crowded. And this room, we are also crowded because we have too many, so there are bed bugs here.
Water problem, like pipe. Pipe doesn't open regularly. Like if pipe is going to open, when it opens this week, maybe next 3 weeks that the pipe will open again.
Aside from the dining hall and dormitories, the school does not have an administration block and enough classrooms. The science laboratory is equally begging for equipment.
We have no equipment, or we have few equipments that we use in doing our lab tests and all sorts of things. Mostly we go to other schools to rent their things in case we have experiments to do.
Meanwhile, a one-story classroom project initiated some years ago has stalled. The headmaster of the school, Abdul Rahman Manan, is appealing to government and other bodies to come to the aid of the school.
We don't have dining hall, we don't have the classroom block, which is at the lintel level, a story building. It's not completed. We are appealing to get funds, and for that matter, the government of Ghana to come to our aid. We are also appealing. The school has no administration block. The school has no pickup or four-wheel drive. The school has no bus. The bus that was given is 33-seater, and the population is almost 4,000. So we are appealing to the powers that be to come to our aid.
The Parents-Teacher Association and some old students are also calling on the government and the Muslim community to help.
The dining hall is an eyesore for now. The PTA thought a problem was a problem that we could solve, but it's beyond PTA's solution. So we are asking government to intervene.
All right, so there you have it, a report from Tamale, Islamic SHS. And nobody should live in such squalor. No one. No one. And if we, and I always say this, that if we estimate ourselves to be among the best of Africans on the continent, we need to do better. And we need to do better for our children. If people going to school, this is their experience, this is what they're taking into life. I mean, Kokri, think about it. If this is an experience for 3 years, 4 years of a child's life, right? This is formative. This instructs a child of what is considered a certain sense of normality. This is what they're going through. Do you understand? So how do they aspire to higher standards? They were never given higher standards.
It's you see, these students here.
Yes.
If you compare, their peers are in high school in the U.S., you know, grades 9 to 12 or 10 to 12.
Yeah.
In the UK, they're maybe A-level students. And how are these young people supposed to compete on a global level?
On a global scale,
with this kind of environment? Look at the science lab, for instance. They have nothing. Practically nothing.
It's horrible.
And the students said they sometimes have to rent equipment from other schools just to do simple experiments.
Yep.
Like experiments that are part of the curriculum that they'll be examined on, that will determine whether or not they can even go further in their education. They don't have it. look at it's so dehumanizing and demeaning for these young people to have to not only sit on the floor to eat, but deal with bed bug infestations, feces from animals that roam all over the place. Look at this. Look at the kid. And you know, so you look at the health hazard, aside the fact that it is dehumanizing and demeaning, and it's a health hazard.
It is a complete health hazard. It's a disaster.
It's a disaster.
Yeah. Well, we have the acting PTA chairman joining us on the line, Chief Adam Abdul Majid. Good morning, sir.
Good morning. How are you?
Very well, thank you. Welcome to Breakfast Daily.
Thank you, too.
All right. So, talk to us about how you feel about what your children have to contend with on a daily basis as far as this school is concerned. Mr. Abdul Majid.
Hello?
Yes, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Yes. I was saying, yes, go ahead.
Yeah, just the latter part of your question is not clear.
No, I was asking you to share with us how you feel about the situation that your children have to go through.
Okay. Okay, good morning, and thank you for giving us this opportunity to talk to you. In fact, it is rather very pathetic as a parent, or almost all parents, to see your ward in a school under this deplorable condition. And in fact, the school has been challenged in so many diverse ways. In fact, as you can see, the dining hall is something you cannot write home about. You can see students being served on a bare floor.
Yeah.
A floor which is not even cemented. And in fact, fortunately, I happened to be the buzzer of the school for almost 4 years. I met the school when the dining hall was stocked with tables and benches, where students at that time, population was about 600, 700. They were being served in the dining hall, and they have to eat in the dining hall. Now, no students can even sit in the dining hall. There's no even seat, let alone to eat in the dining hall. So in fact, as a PTA, we first planned that, in fact, the school was, as you can see, goats and sheep have infested the school. So as parents, we thought it wise to first cure the boundaries of the school by building a fence wall, which has almost been completed because it's about 98% complete. And when we came in as the new executive of PTA, in fact, we went to inspect the dining hall and other places, as well as the girls' dormitory.
Yeah.
And we made it a point that when we finish with the building of the wall, to secure the fence, and for that matter, get rid of the goats and sheep and whatever, we'll now tackle the the dining hall, and see how best, at least if for nothing at all, get the floor cemented and get benches as well as tables, if not even for the students to eat, because as their population stands now, they cannot come to sit together and sit and eat in the dining hall unless they come by pieces. And so it has been the concern of the PTA to make sure that these things, at least are brought the barest minimum. Yeah. So with that appeal to parents, the last time we met, we made parents to at least try and see the condition and plight of these students. So parents were prepared and willing to pay some little special levy with which we levy so that we can tackle some of these things. So we are actually in the distress. And we know government has been burdened with a lot of things. Hitherto, they said PTA should not function. We shouldn't charge for anything. But coming to realize the situation, and almost all institutions, apart from old boys, is a PTA who normally have the government to get the schools running.
Yeah.
So government have now come to realize that, in fact, the PTs are very key in the running of the school administration and as well as other things. So we have somehow given a small leeway for we parents to can contribute our quota. And so, even though government has not given us the free hand to take these fees from parents, because they say we shouldn't even come to the school and take the fees that we supposed to be, we parents are supposed to pay. So if you don't come to the school and take the fees, how do we get the money? Or how do you raise at least the revenue or income that we expect to help the school build up? So at the same time, we also want to, PTA wants to appeal to parents at least to help us, give us some small leeway to be able to collect these fees in order to help the school build.
So, Mr. Abdul-Majid, I just wanted to clarify something. You mentioned earlier that there used to be tables and desks. Is that correct?
Yes.
Tables and chairs in the desk. So what happened to those?
In fact,
Hello?
Over the years, you know, these tables and chairs, in fact, I can remember, in fact, I cannot remember the last time they were actually made. And, you know, when these things are always there and they are not being replaced or worked on, you know, breakages come in and so on and so forth. And then apart from that, you know, I told you earlier on, the school was open. So when the school is on vacation, thieves find ways of coming into the compound, steal some of these things away. And so before we realized, even though there were a few even tables that were left, but thieves had to also come in from time to time to take some of these things away. Not only our dining hall tables and chairs, other school property. And so we thought it wise to first of all get the school secured by building the first wall, which we have almost completed. It's about half a mile square, which we have almost completed. It's about 98% complete.
Is this the first wall you're talking about?
And so now that we have almost done with the first wall, our next target asset now, especially this academic year, if we are able to mobilize some resources, we'll be able to do something at least on the dining hall issue. If for nothing at all, we'll be able to provide some benches and tables for the students at least to sit in or serve. Their food will be served in a very hygienic manner. So that they are actually safe from some of these things complications that will come thereafter as a result of their being served in an hygienic manner.
All right. So the issue with the I wanted to find out if, in terms of raising funds and having people assist you and all of that, if you were to decide which of your things are priority right now and for somebody to invest in helping the school, what would you go for? I mean, your first wall is almost complete now. I'm sure you're going to put a gate on it as well so that the place is actually secure. But what would be your most pressing need right now if people are watching and they are looking at assisting? Mr. Abdul-Majid?
The tail end of your question, I don't get it.
I'm saying, which area of need is most pressing so that if somebody's watching and wants to invest and to help, which area would you want them to support you with?
First of all, I think apart from the dining hall, which is a bit, which is also a problem, the problem of accommodation is, especially the girls. as you can see in the screens, the girls' dormitory is so choked that, in fact, there's just no way out. Okay. I know as they crumble themselves like this, certain other diseases come in and other things, like they are always, you see them complaining. In fact, this block you see was actually built earlier when the school was being converted to a boarding status. Okay. And for the girls' dormitory, as well as the boys' dormitory, 36 block unit, constructed by Get Fund, was to start with. And then since then, the boys' accommodation has been beefed up. Okay. A 36-unit classroom dormitory has been constructed by Get Fund, and another one constructed by the Assembly. But that of the girls have not been tackled at all. Even though the girls' population now outnumber the boys. By far, the girls outnumber the boys. So with the accommodation aspect, the boys are okay, but the girls, in fact, if you go to see how they are crowded, and in fact, you cannot believe it. Okay, so please help us to understand something. In terms of the population, how many boys do you have? How many girls do you have? For now, we have about 1,200 boys and 2003 or 2004 girls. Wow. Okay. Yes. So with this little small accommodation, what did you do? You can see that. Yeah. So we are really handicapped. Mr. Abdul Majid, we really appreciate your time this morning. Thank you for joining us this morning to give us a better understanding of what we're looking at. 1,200 boys and almost 2,400 girls. Yeah. That is daunting. Kokui. To accommodate, yeah. Obviously, I'm happy to hear the number of girls, a large number of girls in senior high school, but there are definitely challenges. Yes. Right. Well, let's say good morning to the host of Footprints on Citi TV, Samuel Atamensa, who has joined us for our discussion this morning. Good morning, Samuel. Morning. Good to see you. Good to see you. Good to be here. Yeah, this is the first time you're joining us on this set. That's correct. That's correct. It's nice to have you here. You're enjoying life. No, it's nice. Well, perhaps here in the beautiful Tesano studio, but not so at the Islamic Senior High School, where students are sitting on the bare floor to eat, where the dormitories are, I think congested is an understatement, riddled with bed bugs. Where the bathroom facilities are woefully inadequate, and where the authorities of the school are struggling to accommodate the children, to provide what they need. They have a science lab that is, again, has basically no equipment. So the problems are myriad. We're trying to figure out what can be done about this. But, you know, the PTA, you know, we just spoke to the acting PTA chairman. PTA, and I think it hit home again just how significant PTA is for schools. And for a while now, we've seen that PTAs have not been allowed to function in our schools. But as he said, they've pretty much, I don't want to say gone rogue, but they've taken matters into their own hands because they cannot wait for permission to operate, right? Because the school has needs and parents are willing to do what they can to support. Okay. Now, the headmaster of the Islamic High School is joining us on the line now. Good morning, sir. Good morning. All right. So, Abdul Rahman Manan Bajini is the headmaster of the Islamic Senior High School. So, we've been talking to your acting PTA chairman, who has told us about some of the challenges the school is facing. And we just want to find out from you if there's anything you would like to add as somebody who is actually in charge of running the school. We understand that you have close to 4,000 students? Yes, please. Currently, the total enrollment, including the third-year students, we have a total enrollment of about 3,410 students. Okay. And out of that number, how many are day students and how many are boarders? Out of that, we have about 70% of them
being boarding students and 30% being day students.
Wow. Wow.
That's daunting.
At what point, we do understand that it became a boarding school later along the lines. When the school was founded in 1997, it was a day school. At what point did that transition happen?
Yeah, it started as a day school. You know, the school was funded by Islamic Development Bank, and when it started, it was absorbed by the Ministry of Education and the government of Ghana. So it is now fully managed by Ministry of Education, and for that matter, Ghana Education Service.
Okay, so it started off as a private.
So it started as a private school, and around 2005, it was absorbed as a boarding school.
What may I ask? What went into that decision?
Yes, at those, you know, when it was going through that form of transformation, the enrollment started increasing, and around that time, I happened to be a teacher who started teaching in that school since 2001.
Okay.
So I'm always, I always know what is going on in the school. Before I was transferred out as assistant headmaster to Cheruponi Senior High School. So as the school was going through that transformation stages, you know, the school has only 3 programs: science, agri-science, and home economics. And it's the only pure science school in the northern region.
The only pure science school in the northern region?
Only pure science, yes. So the population of the school around that time was around 600, 500, 600, 500, 600. But when the introduction of the free senior high school system started, enrollment shot up, and the population was around, the population now is around 3,410. So I think that it has been increasing gradually, but since the advent of free senior high school, which policy that people embrace and enrollment shot up, there was that. I became headmaster just 2 years ago.
I see.
And before I came, the government of Ghana had done some projects around 2019 thereabout. We got a boys' dormitory that boys are existing now, and also unit 2 debt fund emergency projects. Students are using them as we speak.
Okay. All right. Now, your PTA chairman, acting chairman, told us about the fence wall that is almost complete and the plans to fix the floor of the dining hall and eventually to restock it with furniture as well. But talk to us about the science lab, especially since, from what you're saying, this is the only pure science school in the northern region. So obviously, your emphasis on something like science should mean that you require a lot of equipment for your students to be able to conduct practical experiments and to do practical work in the sciences. From what we've seen in the reports, there isn't much in your science lab.
Yes.
Talk to us about your needs there.
You know, science equipments are very expensive these days. And usually when we went to conduct WASI exams, we have to receive the list of science equipment that are needed for the exam from WAEC, and government will support us to get the science equipment. Now that is what we are focusing on. But to procure science equipment for the use of students, it is usually very difficult for us. So we always get equipment that we can buy at the time, and that's what we use in the teaching and learning process. But the science
laboratories as we speak. That was meant for 35 students at a time. Now you go to a class where we have about 60 students. So it means that you have to divide them into two for one particular lesson.
Right.
And I think that is also affecting us. And since the school was established in 1997, the science laboratories, if you go, you see the ceiling coming out. It's not a very good thing. I think that we are going through a lot when it comes to science. But even with that, our performance has been very good.
Really?
Yeah.
That's actually what I was going to ask you, is how is that affecting the results of your students in the WASI?
Yes, I think the numbers of the students that we expect to bring out, we might not be able to meet the requirement, but even with that, we still have a lot of successes. If you go to Tamale Teaching Hospital as we speak, you have a lot of medical doctors, some other allied health professionals are also products of our school. In fact, there's no single health facility you go to in the northern region that you can't find a product of Tamale Islamic Science in high school.
All right, so you're working miracles with your meager resources. Well, we appreciate your time. Thank you for speaking to us.
Thank you very much.
Just shedding more light on the challenges you're facing at your school. So that was Abdul Rahman Manan Bajini, who is the headmaster of the Islamic Senior High School in Tamale. Pure science school, and the only pure science school in the northern region. And we've been discussing the challenges they're facing at their school.
It seems very daunting. You know, they've done their best, but one of the things that I find difficult to understand is why the government seems not to want the PTA to, you know, actively intervene in some of these situations.
Well, I don't know why this PTA thing became an issue in the first place. So, not something I can really have a proper opinion on. You know, having said that, I mean, PTA, then what? It's not the responsibility of the PTA to build the school.
No,
the school, as the man said, is now managed by government. So once you have taken, if you like, ownership of the school, just go ahead and deal with it. It's as simple as that. But the pictures we see are actually very criminal in nature. Very, very criminal, and it contradicts every human rights of the young people. You know, that I don't know. I don't know. It's sad, and I would imagine that there may be other schools who are experiencing these kinds of challenges. But at least this one has come to the fore. And for every policymaker, for every politician, for everybody in a high place who's also watching these pictures should know what we are talking about. And we can't sit pretty and watch these things happen. You know, yes, we are inundated everywhere. Every school is experiencing, you know, the increase in numbers and all that. And so we expect that there will be challenges. But this kind is unique in its own way that needs a certain level of attention. And we can't sleep over a thing like that. I mean, something that they allege that is a dining hall.
Alleged is the right way to use. Yes.
I like the way you say alleged.
I've been worried about this story since I first saw it. Was it on CNR?
Yes.
Yeah. And I'm saying, but why should? And this is Tamale.
Yes.
It's not a village somewhere.
No, it's not.
No.
It's
not.
Sagnarigu, Tamale.
Yes.
So as you said, imagine schools that are not near such urban areas.
And And a population of 3,000 in the boarding house is huge.
It's massive.
Huge.
Yeah.
It's huge.
I can't imagine.
I mean, if the students are not complaining about where they sleep, you can pardon them. You can pardon them because, granted, some of the students themselves, they don't even have their own beds in their homes.
No.
So in their mind, what they see when they come having your own bed is actually progress made.
Yeah.
But is this the kind of education that we want to project? The promise of educating people is comprehensive in nature. It's not doing them a favor. If we think that by educating people for free, we are doing them a favor, then that's where we got wrong.
Yeah.
And they are complaining, though. The students they've voiced their concerns.
But,
about the
you know,
congestion,
I
the
wasn't
bed bugs.
surprised when the headmaster said they still do well with their waxy.
Yeah.
Kokwi, I listened to the students.
They speak well.
Speak very,
how they articulate their
very
issues,
articulate.
how eloquent.
Yeah.
And I've always said,
Yeah.
if you pick an average random student in the southern sector, they can't even put their words together.
yeah.
They cannot put their words together, not to mention some of the regions that are notorious for speaking their mother language.
Yeah.
I mean, so there's something good about this that we should preserve.
Yes.
We should help, you know, repair the damage. And it's not a school that we should allow to be written off.
No, at all.
Because Science College, so as for us here, we are not going to leave this story as is. We will find ways of bringing attention to it, whatever help that we have to, you know, master to make sure that the school sees progress, we will do it. Because this is an eyesore, this is not fair on the students. Look at how they, I mean, look at this.
Yeah.
I mean, you look at it, you think it's a local drama they are acting.
Yeah. Yeah. No, it's pathetic.
Look at some goats too enjoying life there.
Yeah.
You know,
Defecation, the animals' feces, the same place they're supposed to squat on the floor and eat. Why?
We can't do
Flooding on
this.
the
And,
Why?
We can't
and
do
earlier,
this.
one of the young ladies was talking about the fact that they have to ease themselves in the open because the toilet facilities are actually choked. You know, so they don't. It's not even in use. It's not let alone. It's not even. It's not in use. It cannot be used.
How sometimes it
And
takes
the
2
young
hours to have your
ladies,
bath.
how do they manage their menstrual situations? How? I mean, look, this thing needs a certain attention.
Yeah.
And as I said, we'll keep pushing till they get the right attention. We will do it. Citi TV will do it. Citi FM will do it till we get the right attention.
Absolutely. We need to.
We need to.
We need to.
And
Greg in Sunyani sent us a message. He says, this is really disheartening. How is it that students eat on the floor with animals? How heartless can government be? I almost shed tears listening to the boy lamenting on the fact that they eat while seated on the bare floor. This is Greg.
I mean, they don't have tables, they don't have chairs.
No.
No, the ones they had in the past.
People have stolen them.
Or broken. They had
Yeah,
some.
because open.
Yes.
Anybody
They
at all
didn't have
can
a-
walk into the
anybody
school.
can walk
There's no
in.
wall.
So if they are doing this, now let's talk about hygiene that they are not talking about. Do they have soap even to wash their bowls?
Well,
Who does the cooking for them?
They queue
How
for almost 2
does
hours
the pantry?
to take
How
their
does the
bath.
pantry look like?
Yeah.
You know, I mean, this thing is a very dangerous situation.
It's a very dangerous situation.
But they've just been dealing with it.
We had another message come through. This is heartbreaking. I completed the Islamic Senior High School in 2013. And at that time, things were a little better, but we were suffering. Islamic Senior High School needs help because the school is 25 years old.
Yeah. That's the sad part. You saw them wearing the anniversary shirt, and after 25 years, I mean, but kudos to the teachers, the headmaster, the adults there who have to manage all of this. Can you imagine managing over 3,000 youth, adolescents in a boarding house situation? Co-ed, mind you.
It's a miracle that riots haven't broken out, you know, because this is just a recipe for disaster.
You see, because we have sold it to them as doing them a favor. See, this is it. If but for free senior high school, I wouldn't be here. So let me just keep quiet and
take it like that. Yeah.
It's free.
That's okay, but for the person providing the service, are you proud of this kind of service?
Cannot be.
Are you proud of this kind of service? I mean, somebody will talk about resources, the lack of it. Fair enough. But aren't there misapplication of resources as well, that in our very own eyes that we have seen? As for this Islamic senior high school, we will call on the vice president's office. We will call on Haruna Idrisu's office. We will call on every high-ranking person from the northern region to take some action regarding this school. We as Citi TV, we are leading it, but we will not, we can't carry the whole burden.
We can't carry the
So we are calling on every one of the leaders who also hail from there to help restore some kind of decency in the school. I mean, blaming the authorities is only one part of it. Blaming them and not solving the problem, it doesn't make the students any better. The authorities are there, they will complain about lack of resources, but when they travel from here to Qatar, they will take their per diem anyway. That one, there's no lack of resources. That's the magic about being in public service.
The V8 will move, no. The fuel
they will go and take their per diem. But other things that they have to do, that one, there's no money. I mean, how do you cram, is the word cram? Cram 3,000 students in a space like this. Look at this. Look at this.
And can you imagine? I mean, these are majority Muslim students, right?
Yes.
They have to perform ablution
We
before
will
they
do
eat,
whatever, Kokui, mark my
water.
words, we will do everything possible to restore this school to some glory. I'm telling you.
It's
and 25 years,
25 years
and counting. Imagine the number of people they've churned out who are in positions of responsibility in the society. You know, I think that so much should be done about this. And we really, like you said, restore this to some level of dignity. And
it's just not fair.
Unacceptable that we find ourselves
They don't
here.
deserve this. It's just not fair. Well, if you have thoughts on this, you can share them with us. Remember to hashtag Breakfast Daily, or you can send us a message, right?
Yes,
on WhatsApp.
0204 447 033. If you happen to be watching us, you have any comments to share, we do want to hear from you. All right, so 0204 447 033. This story is heartbreaking.
It's just not
no matter how you look at it. And you know, we talk about bed bugs. It's frustrating. You just think about it.
It's infested with bed bugs.
And why would it not be? Right? I mean, can you imagine? You're probably having maybe 4 people to a bed, 4 people to a mattress. I mean, think about it. The headmaster was even talking about the girls crammed into the space of that block that we saw there. That's how bad it is.
It's terrible.
That's how bad it is.
It's terrible.
That block there, we need to have at least 6 or 7 of such blocks to decongest the numbers we're talking about.
I mean, we know we're in a sense playing catch up with the influx of students because now more of them have access to education, which again is a great thing that we've created that opportunity for more students to go on to the secondary level. But at some point we need to have a realistic conversation about how to accommodate all of these students properly. It cannot be this dehumanizing and this demeaning for the foreseeable future.
Then
it just cannot be.
Then it's not worth it. Right. Then it's not worth it. You say it's free, but at what cost? Do you get it?
The cost.
This is the cost. If this is the cost, then it's not worth being free. There's no human logic that can process this and say it's worth the free is worth this. No.
I mean, again, kudos to the headmaster, the teachers in that school, and the parents who are supporting. I mean, as Amen said, it's not necessarily
the free thing is, I mean, free everywhere will have huge loopholes. Achimota School is free. Adisco is free. Augustine's is free. Do they look anything like this? And the answer is no. So it's like they are they are being victimized for being who they are. We are doing a favor, so just
take it like
take the crumbs.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
And I'm just saying that if the resource structure of the ministry or the government will not cater for some of these things, it's a human rights error.
It is.
I mean, to see what we are seeing, to see what we are seeing on TV about Islamic Senior High School, it's a human rights abuse that we need to deal with. So, yes, we call on the government through the Ministry of Education, Ghana Education Service, to pay attention to this situation. We also call on all the leaders that hail from the region to add their voices and their substance to make sure that this school is restored. We here have committed to do something about it. But of course, we need to engage the authorities properly to see how we can go about it. And then, that's what I can say.
Yes.
No administration block, no access to water, not enough equipment in their science labs, dealing with bed bugs every day, overcrowded dormitories,
I mean,
an
how do you even
impossible
talk about
overload
science
on
lab
bathrooms
when the basic needs of the people are not met?
Are not even there.
They look at this. I mean, see the hell,
it's like a joke.
I don't know.
Maybe we should open the phone lines.
Well, I don't know what that means. But I mean, I think it's for people to see what the situation is.
Yeah.
Such an
No,
important function.
I think if you're watching us, especially in Tamale, we want to hear from you. If you went to this school, we want to hear from you. All right? Call this number and just talk to us about what we've been looking at and how you feel about what you've seen and what you think we should be doing.
Right.
0556 203 276. 0556 203 276. Give us a call. Let's hear your thoughts, especially if you live in Tamale or you hail from Tamale or you attended this school. We really appreciate your call and your thoughts.
We've got Abdul Latif, who attended the school. He said, I'm an old student from Islamic Senior High School from 2017. We really appreciate what you're doing. We want government and all agencies who can help come to our aid. It's very sad. God bless you. Thank you, Abdul Latif, for that message. 2017, he said, so not that long ago.
Yeah.
It's 5 or 6 years ago. He finished the school. So it sounds like he knows.
Yeah. Another message here says, this is disgusting. Under what circumstances will future leaders be treated like non-entities? Is this the definition for free education? Which of our political leaders would like to enroll their children in such a school?
None.
And for me, Samir, this is one of the things I always ask myself. Why is it that, I do agree that you can take your children where you want to, but there has to be some kind of a construct in terms of our governance that says that if you are presiding over a particular area or a peculiar area, you have to have some skin in the game, in the sense that you can't say, I'm in charge of X area, Y area, Ministry of Health, Ministry of Education, whatever, and your own wards, offspring, are not part of that system. You know, I think you don't have skin in the game, and it's like a hazard on the rest of the country.
The major third world feature, where the wealthier you are through politics, one of the
perks,
fascinating perks, is to be able to afford a school outside of what you are superintending over. You know, speaking so loudly that what I'm superintending over is not fit for my own use, except the disadvantaged people. And that's what we have all seen. You know, the person is Minister of Information or Minister of Education, and yet his children attend a school outside of the schools within his own purview.
Yeah.
Okay?
Yeah.
The person is the transport minister. He's never on earth used a public transport before. He's never used public transport before. He has not subjected himself to the policy experience that he himself is promoting. You understand? That's why you are in the United Kingdom. You see how you are entering the train station. The next person to you in the trains, in the train, is a minister for environment. You know, I remember years ago when I met Steve Bias, who then the transport minister, park his bike at the train station. Park his bike and lock it.
Yeah.
He had just come out of there. I was just watching like a movie. This is the British Minister for Transport. So if you don't experience it, how do you manage it? And this is the point you are making. If we will change our laws and say that the moment you take public position, it is required that you subject yourself to every policy experience. You cannot go to hospital in England and tell us that you are giving us the best medical experience. You can't. It's actually an insult to us. They say that the worst one is when they say we flew him up for a checkup.
It's ridiculous.
You are flying
we are proud of
the person who is in charge of policy to make sure people are well. You fly him out for a checkup. And you are happy.
We're sick.
They announce it.
And you are happy. A checkup.
What's the use of UGMC?
So when we do all these things and then come and say that we want to create employment, I ask myself, are these guys magicians? Are they magicians or they are just joking with everybody? Because the various opportunities that can help you create employment opportunities, you have dismissed them. You have dismissed them because you do not patronize. If you don't patronize your health facilities, it cannot create employment.
No, it doesn't.
It is the more we line up and queue to use, then it creates the opportunities to get more hands. But if we all say that we are checking into the hospital in the UK, now it's South Africa, it's India, same for education. You know, if you are not in politics and you have your money and you choose what you want to do, this is it. But you can't tell me that you are providing the best for me.
For me, exactly.
Because it's all born out of this mentality where politicians believe that they are doing us a favor.
We have more messages coming through, lots of messages coming through. Good morning, please. I am called Sani. I'm a past student of the school and looking to NSMQ. If you monitor that competition, you observe that we are doing very well. Yes, that's true. It says last year we beat St. Augustine's at the national level. Okay, we have Good Morning City TV. The problem with we Northerners is that people in higher offices only help the schools that they graduate from. The rest are is left to the government to do the magic, and that's very wrong. Moreover, do you know that the school always participates in the National Science and Math Quiz every year? This is so disheartening. Coco, you have more messages?
Yes, this Islamic SHS is just by Honorable Husseini's community under his constituency, talking big in Parliament but doing virtually nothing back home. This is from Awuni in Bolga. And so sad for these students at Islamic Senior High School. How can students go through this kind of bad situation? I don't support them in insulting any authority, but the kind of pain they go through forces them to do so. Tamale Pa school near. Then what about a village in Tamale or village in the northern region? Good morning, I'm Abdul Shakur Mohammed, a student of Tamale Islamic Science. Please thank the headmaster. He's really doing his best to make the school grow, but it's not enough. We need help. Please come to our aid. It's so sad looking at the state of the school. Which of the government officials will take their children to this school? yet we're bent on building a cathedral. That's Ghana for you. Abdul Razak Idrisu says he's from the 2019 batch of Tamale Islamic SHS students. He said, looking at the past and present of Mother Tisek, you can't tell whether there's progress in the school infrastructure. When we were admitted in 2016, we had to put on our mattresses on the bare floor at night and sleep till the next morning. The next morning, we pack them in one place and clean the room. In the past, we went through a lot. I personally think things will change for the better, but it's worse now. Mother Tisek deserves better.
Yeah. Wow. Mother Tisek definitely deserves better. Well, we want to say a big thank you, Shemens, for joining us this morning. We appreciate your time and your thoughts and your comments. Yeah.
I know.
We'll do something about this. We definitely have to do
so
something about this. Yeah. And for those who are in charge of the education sector, it's right on your lap.